decision. The judges scored the contest 29-28, 30-26, and 30-26 for the winner by unanimous decision, Mike Beast Boy Davis.
What's going on, everybody? This is season 1, episode 13 of my podcast, or Rise of Cheese podcast, with UFC fighters. And today we have UFC fighter Mike Beast Boy Davis. Say what's up to the podcast.
Yo, guys, what's going on? Pleasure to have me on, or be here.
Yeah,
Pleasure to be
man.
here.
Thank you so much for coming on, Mike. So first things first, I want to get to know what got you started into mixed martial arts.
Bullying. Everybody has that bully story. And I was one of the little guys. I was like 5'11" or 4'11" in high school. So I was really short, really small, like 130 pounds. And I got bullied. I got bullied so bad. I got picked up by my nipples. I got put in the basketball rim. Like I was so little, so I couldn't really do anything. Over the summer of 10th grade, I rode my bicycle to the closest boxing place. It was 14 miles away, and it was Custom Autos.
Wow.
And I just learned how to box from Kevin Rooney. He told me he'd teach me for free after I told him what was going on, and he just said I can't get into fights, but they'll know that I know how to box now, so they'll leave me alone. And it did. It worked. And over that summer, I was training so hard, my body was like, "Hey, yo, what's going on? Let's grow." So I went up to like 5'7", going into 11th grade, and I was like 160.
Yeah,
Over that summer, I gained so much weight.
dude, that's an amazing way to get into fighting. I feel like a lot of people who are just like experienced bowling and everything go into MMA, and it's just like that's a really good way to cope with things. Because I know when I went to my gym, my coach told me people have gone through that, and honestly, what got me into MMA was bowling too. Because in high school, it was I was yeah, I was like 4'11". I grew
Small,
substantial.
man.
Yeah, I'm tall
You grew
now.
a lot more than I did. I made it to 6 foot, but you said you're up there, six
Yeah,
three.
6'3", 6'4". Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I wish I got 3 more inches.
I had my family growing up was my mom was 6 foot already in sixth grade, so it was my brother was 6'9", 6'10", so my family was pretty tall. I was wondering why when I was getting into high school, why I was 4'11". It's the same thing with my brother, my oldest brother. He was 4'11" when he got into high school, and then by his senior year, he was 6'2". And yeah, my high school experience, like same like you, man. Dude, I just got like absolutely picked on. There'd be so many kids who would just like one, I got thrown in the lockers, but I know we definitely have our age difference with my my bullying was a lot of like messages online that worked its way. Yeah, I know it's stupid, but it's
New
kind
age bullies.
yeah, new age. But I mean, yeah, I didn't really know anybody at my school. I mean, I did, but it was kind of like, oh, I thought I had these friends, and they branched out into like bullies. They wanted to be cool. That's kind of just how that worked there. I mean, dude, there'd be times where, yeah, I'd get pushed around, thrown into lockers, even in soccer practice, dude. I would get pushed down, and all my teammates, I thought they were like my friends, and that's what got me into MMA. Or my dad, like when I was a kid, he he knew I was getting bullied because in the neighborhood, there'd be kids who invited me over and fight me. Like literally, it would be a 4v1 fight, and they'd start punching me, and like I've never told anybody any of that happened. Like not even my parents knew that happened. I just told them that they were bullying me, picking on me. So my dad, knowing what kind of tough guy he is, he gave me a boxing bag, and I kind of just learned from that. And one day when I
Good
got
stuff.
I got into college, I found a gym, got into it. But yeah, going off of that, just difference with you getting into it from bullying. Yeah, not alone on that one. But what would you say going into MMA? What was like your favorite thing to learn?
Wrestling.
Wrestling? Why is that?
Yeah. I think it was because that's where I found most of my friends and
Yeah.
uh gave me kind of something after school to do besides go home and sit in my room. So I would go to wrestling. I learned how to, you know, better my body, push my body. I learned discipline. I learned what it meant to really be tired and exhausted.
Mhm.
Wrestling taught me the most about life. And then it also taught me a skill that is probably the least matched in UFC. If you can wrestle and you're a very good wrestler, like Grant Dawson, he's a perfect example. Khabib,
Yes.
perfect example. If you can really wrestle, it's nobody can really beat you.
Yeah. I definitely agree because you see all these fighters, um, those perfect wrestlers. You see those fights don't go well matched because you know they're gonna take over, take control in the fights. Just because you see, just yeah, going off your example, Grant Dawson. Yes, that's a perfect example. That last fight he had definitely. Um, Islam Makachev, that fight he had with
Yeah,
Oliveira, dominated him.
Islam wrestling,
hmm
Volk wrestling,
I think
Khabib wrestling.
I think Volk also has a very good stand up game.
He does. He does.
It's a well balanced fighter. Yeah, I'm excited to see that fight with Islam and Oliveira again. But I kind of know
Yeah,
what's gonna happen.
the new Oliveira. I'm gonna go with Oliveira for this one.
You actually think so? Why do you think that?
Yeah, because I like going with the guy who lost. The guy who won, they kind of realize they won, and they know they get this kind of cocky feeling where they don't have to change much to win again.
Yeah,
But the guy that loses goes and dyes his hair blonde and comes back a monster.
yeah, Daniel Hooker. Yeah, man, that's a good example. Um, yeah, it's just like example with that is like Adesanya, his last fight against Pereira. He definitely
Yeah.
showed that he could do it. I didn't like what he did when Duplessis won. I know a lot of
Oh no,
people. Yeah,
super cringe.
that
He's
was
embracing that cringe.
that was just really like I thought it was like out of pocket. I was like so confused why he was so pissed off. Like I don't know.
I think he's just trying to sell fight. Honestly, he acted way out of pocket, so that kind of shows that he's afraid.
Mhm.
Because Duplessis is one of the people that are going to actually shoot and wrestle this man, like
Yeah.
they're supposed to. So he's definitely is not or is he's afraid of Duplessis, and I think Duplessis will beat him.
Oh, I think so by far.
I
I
think
know.
he'll beat him easy in the first round.
Yeah, I agree. A lot
Maybe
of
not easy, but in the first round.
yeah, not easy, but it'll definitely come there. Uh, I mean, a lot of people doubt him because he came into UFC. Um, like after that Whitaker fight, he definitely showed like how much potential he has as a fighter. Because that fight was really good just on his part. I actually had a really good feeling that he was gonna take Whitaker. I know some people didn't, but I thought so he would.
He got a lot of fans that night.
Yeah,
It showed
yeah, he
how
did.
he didn't react. He didn't react to Izzy going crazy, and how he beat
Exactly.
Whitaker.
He's a humble fighter.
Yeah,
Like
he's really
I've
good. I
noticed
like him.
after all of his like fights, he does not make a lot of emotion. He's just like I've even seen like his stories. The man on like Instagram and stuff. The man's like
Mm.
so humble. He's such a family guy. I mean, like any fighter is sometimes. But yeah, I think he's a really humble fighter. Um, so what was it like going into your amateur start? What was it like starting into amateur fighting when your coach let you fight?
Um, I didn't really have coaches when I first started amateur MMA. I was told of my mom's coworkers. This is what they do MMA,
Okay.
and she told me that they do something called MMA. It was boxing and wrestling at the same time. I was doing both of those separately.
Okay.
She said, "Go try it." So go try it. I show up to this. It's kind of like a clubhouse. Also, it's called a moose lodge, but it didn't really have anything in it. Kind of abandoned a little.
Yeah.
But they set up ropes on poles, put cardboard on the floor, so it made it look like a boxing ring. And
That's
we would
weird.
watch videos on YouTube and
Yeah.
practice arm bars and triangles on each other.
Wow.
And we did that for like a month, and then they said, "Mike, you learn so fast. Um, we signed you up for a fight this weekend." And it was like
Wow, they
I think
signed you
Wednesday
up
or
for
so.
one?
Hmm.
Just like they told you just right away they signed you up for a
Yeah,
fight without you knowing?
yeah. Yep.
Wow.
But there again, these aren't coaches or anything. These are just coworkers. These are just people training
Mhm.
MMA on YouTube. So I showed up. The guy that they needed to fight for was a title holder, and he looked exactly like me and Bill. We were both really jacked kids,
Mhm.
and I took that fight and I won by split decision.
Wow.
And then I joined a real gym and I got another fight.
Mhm.
They signed me for a fight after I think I want to say like 2 months of training with them. They signed me up for a fight, and I won that fight. And then they signed me up for another, and I won that fight. And I just kept winning, winning, and winning. But then I switched gyms and I moved out of the state and I fought in different states and I won. So I think
What
I don't even
states
know
did
how.
you compete in amateur?
New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, New Jersey, and Florida.
What was it like traveling down there and experiencing it?
Long, long. I didn't know that I would have to travel so far all the time to fight,
Yeah.
and it kind of sticks with it from the beginning. Unless you get fights like here like in Orlando, there are many amateur fights here in Orlando, so it's like a
Yeah, I
20-minute
bet.
drive. But man, every fight I've had to travel.
Hey, that's not a bad thing. I mean, dude, as a fighter, like if I was out there competing and stuff, I'd want to go travel. I'd want to go see new places. I
Yeah.
mean, I know you don't get a lot of time to chill and see like around your surroundings and stuff. Maybe after the fights for sure, but I mean,
Mm,
no.
it depends. No, because when you're a pro and you're fighting out of state, they normally cover your flight, your travel, your
Yeah.
hotel, and how they'll set you up is you're set for the next day. So you fight, then you leave the next day.
Okay. Yeah, I
You
do.
fight, you go to sleep, and you leave right in the first thing in the morning, 9 a.m., 8 a.m.
Wow.
You're on a flight heading
So
back
they
home.
don't give you any time to see.
No,
Wow. Shit.
zero.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I did know about that where they you leave the next day, but I didn't know it was that early. Wow.
Hmm. Super fucking early.
Wow, that that sucks. I mean, they to think they have a lot of money that they would do something just like let you guys. I mean, at
Or at least
least
have it as an option
yeah,
when we sign the contract.
true.
It
Yeah.
has a thing they'll provide us with flight, transportation, hotel.
Mhm.
Then we can have an option if we want to extend our stay
Yeah.
or not.
Yeah, that's smart. I think that would be a good thing for cuz I mean, have you been to LA
Hmm.
before fighting
Yep.
UFC? Oh, actually. So
Mhm.
you've seen that and everything. Okay. But I feel like for people
I
who
stayed in I stayed in Beverly Hills and I hiked up the Hollywood sign and that was
nice.
fun.
Yeah, I bet that's fun. I've never I always wanted to see the PI and everything and go to a
Mm,
UFC fight
that's
night.
nice.
It's not yeah. What's what is your thought of the PI? Like what's your experience in there?
I feel like someone else said it before too, but if you live or fight for the UFC, living in Vegas is probably the best thing to do.
Yeah.
You get access to the PI, good
Mm-hmm.
coaches and training. You'll be a first call for people that are short notice fights because you don't have to travel. You
Yeah.
just
True.
go to the T-Mobile Arena or go to the Apex,
Very
and
true.
boom. So they'll call you first if you were ready for a fight. You get more fights if you live in Vegas.
So if you live in Vegas, you can go to the PI whenever you want if you're a UFC fighter.
Yep,
Damn.
anytime.
Okay, because I know Aho lives in Ajo lives in Las Vegas. I'm pretty sure because
Does he
he's
live out there? He doesn't train in New
uh
York City.
no last time I talked to Matt, he told me that Ajo lived has a place up in Las Vegas.
Okay, I saw him at Syndicate before.
Okay, yeah, because the both him and Matt are pretty close.
Yeah,
And when he told me that he was going to, because I know he was in the corner for Nas's fight against McKinney, and he said he was staying at Ajo's house because he had a place to crash for and to go to the
it's
PI
awesome.
and Trey. Yeah, dude,
Awesome.
having just being right next to all that would probably be just a dream come true. Just because, I mean, yeah, you're gonna get more fights. If you want to get more fights a year, that's definitely a good route to
Yeah,
take.
living in Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't know
Oh,
like
I'm
was
moving in October, but
what are you thinking?
um, I got a few. I'm moving to another place down here, a really big apartment. But I'm also debating on risking the chance and moving out to Vegas or
Like
paying the ridiculous amount it costs to get there.
yeah, or
But I'm
paying to
thinking
live
about
in
it.
there. Ridiculous amount to live in there. I've
The
always
the living there isn't so expensive, but
okay.
to get all my stuff, to move my apartment to Vegas,
Yeah.
it probably cost me somewhere around like 5 grand.
So would you just want to live in Vegas just because of all the PI stuff
Yep.
like that? Yeah, that's smart. Would you have another like idea other than Vegas or that you'd want to
Texas,
Texas? Why would you want to move
Texas is
there?
nice, cheap.
Yeah.
Probably buy a house out there.
Yeah, I knew that was gonna be your answer. I think yeah, they by far have like some of the cheapest houses and real estate down there. So I think that would be a smart way to live. I even think like I know Pensacola, like we talked, Pensacola is a little uh it can be pricey because have you ever heard of Portofino? Do you know the island resort that's
Portofino. Yeah,
yeah, that's where we've had our like condo for like 20 years. So
you
that's
go
like
over there.
yeah, all the time. I'll be there a few weeks.
Damn,
Yeah, when you're
nice. So
yeah,
nice.
if you go down there, I'll be down there. So yeah, it's honestly awesome. I mean, I've met a lot of people down there. Uh, it's definitely a place where I want to live. I know I actually would want to live closer, like to UFC, see fights in that, because that's like my dream goal. But I mean, I've always, as a kid, I've always wanted to live in Pensacola. It's honestly a move.
Well, they have fights in Jacksonville,
Okay,
so it's like a 4, maybe less than 4 hour trip.
okay. Uh, hmm. Okay, Jacksonville. Okay, yeah. That's isn't that little? It's not close to Orlando, right? It's a little on the outside.
It's like 2 hours from me.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Above, it's
yeah, yeah.
above me. Two
Yeah,
hours above.
because when we were flying our plane down to Orlando, we looked to our left, right, and there was Jacksonville because we saw the city of Jacksonville. My cousin actually lives in Jacksonville. Um, and then we saw Orlando going down. It was pretty cool, just because I've never been down there, and I bet it's I bet it's nice living down there. But I'm guessing it's you're kind of like sick of it being hot and everything, or
Um, getting there. I'm getting there
how
for
long you
sure.
been down there?
10 years.
Wow.
And I've moved all over the state.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know
I've
how.
been in Fort Lauderdale for the last like 3 years, and I just moved up here a year and a half ago.
That's nice. That's nice. So from going, so how many amateur fights did you have in total?
For MMA
Yeah,
or everything,
MMA.
uh, 10.
10 fights. Okay, that's cool. Um, how how was it from transitioning from amateur to professional fighting?
Kind of the same. You don't really start implementing professional rules that they have until you're a few fights in.
Okay,
I mean, some amateurs train it, so they're kind of ready for it. But me, I just went from amateur to pro, and it just felt the same. I
okay.
was used to fighting without shin pads or headgear or anything,
Yeah.
so it just kind of was another fight.
Well, I know when they trained us at the gym that I train at, we don't do knees or elbows.
Yeah, not many gyms do.
Were
We
you?
don't actively throw knees and elbows, but if you come prepared with elbow pads and everything,
Mm-hmm.
throwing knees and elbows, and you just let your teammate know, then pretty much it.
Did
It's
you do
not
that before
like
you
against the
started
it's
pro or?
not against the gym.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, no, I never threw a single elbow until my first pro fight.
Wow. What
Never
was
trained it, never did anything.
what
My
was
first
it
pro
like
fight, I threw
throwing
my
your
first elbow.
first elbow in a pro fight?
I won. They won me the fight, so it was great.
Wow, that's crazy. That's that's awesome. The first time you use a new move, you get a KO with that. That's pretty crazy. What was it like from going to into pros and starting? Because you had your contender series fight against Sodiq Yusuf. How was going from that to fighting in the contender series?
Going from my like early fights to the contender series fight.
No, your professional fights. So like stepping in from professional fights going
Oh,
into UFC.
it was it was a start of what I expected the career to be like. Fly you out here. I got picked up by the limo, brought
Mm-hmm.
to the PI. I got to get my body tested with all the stuff they have, sign some papers, get my fingerprints scanned so I can come into the PI.
Wow, they use a fingerprint for that?
Yeah, like all the fighters can just walk up to the door and tap their finger and it'll open for
That's
the fighters.
crazy.
That's
That's
pretty cool.
cool.
Um, I got to go to the Apex, see Dana White,
Mm-hmm.
meet a bunch of fighters. This is like the first realization that I made it to the point in my career where the point in my MMA plans that I can call it a career.
Yeah. What was your like general feeling like, oh, I'm getting into this plane right now and I'm going to UFC to meet everybody. What were you feeling?
I never intended to be in the UFC. I just kept winning fights that it kind of gave me no choice. They started knocking on my door. So after my third pro fight, I figured I can make it to the UFC, and I'll just keep winning until they call me. And they called me like 2 fights later.
Wow, that's crazy.
So when I got to the UFC, it kind of just flowed with how life was going. I had no real expectations or
Mm-hmm.
care to who I fought for as long as I could call it a career and make money off it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great that it's good that UFC came knocking on your door to see like what a great fighter you are, and it's good that you didn't have like a goal or did not like expect of going into that, and that's cool that you're now here on this journey fighting in the UFC, and you know going from your accident, you're now gonna fight soon, hopefully, right? Yeah,
Yeah. Um, I got like 2 more months with this.
you think so? Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking?
The
Like,
rotator cuff heals so slow.
yeah, I bet.
Tried everything. I'm actually gonna go to Vegas next month and get some stem cells and stuff like that. Some treatment from the PI.
Smart. I mean, I'm pretty glad. I'm like glad that they kept you in the UFC just from that accident and everything.
Okay, I have a contract.
Okay, they can't do anything like that because I saw.
Yeah, the only way that they'll kick you from the UFC is if you. I I don't know if they want to kick you, they can. They can do whatever they want.
Okay.
But the only way a fighter kind of like expecting to get kicked out is when they lose 2 fights in a row.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll get offered a third, um, as like redemption. You win that, you get to stay. You lose, you're guaranteed to be out.
Yeah. It's
I've never lost two fights in a row.
it's pretty crazy because one of my buddies who fought in the UFC, he won his last fight. Oh wait, no, he did lose two in a row.
He's
Yeah,
out.
yeah, he's out.
Yeah, two in a row.
Okay, yeah, cause he had a one fight, he had a KO, perfect KO. I mean, no, it was a submission, but it was a punch that led to it, and then he fought Park. Do you know Korean fighter, middleweight?
Yeah, yeah.
The
Park.
guy, yeah, the turtle, the guy who
Yeah.
I think he's won what his last
Oh,
three fights, three fights for sure. And then yeah, then he fought
oh,
that Claudio Ribeiro guy, my buddy. That's what I was going off of. But yeah, I didn't know that they give you it's two losses and they cut you.
yeah.
Yeah, cause I'm seeing like I said I had this like last conversation was I think I had a recent talk with that there's just giving new fighters like debuts like constantly. When I see fight cards and stuff, that's all I see. It's just like a brand new.
Debuts.
What's
Well,
up?
if a fighter gets injured or is removed from the card,
Yeah.
they can find a quick replacement from somebody that's local. And
Uh.
the reason that they don't really try to fly out main people is because one, it'll take too long.
Yeah.
Um, my guess is two, they'll have to pay him for taking a short notice fight or pay her
Mhm.
to take that short notice fight. And also, they've had a bunch of fights, so they'll have to pay them a lot. Or you can go the bare minimum and pay some random guy who's won a couple fights in the pro region that's close to the event 10 grand.
Okay. Yeah.
So
That
they
that
just go
makes
with the
more
10 grand.
sense. And
You can
so
give someone else a chance, and then they overpopulate the roster, which leaves us still scrapping when they can, cut. They could cut 50% of the roster.
yeah.
Go based through like skill set, how much you're good at, newer people, and be more selective. Give us a salary. That's my
Mhm.
main my main complaint with the UFC is that we deserve a salary for being able to make it here in the first place. Because
Exactly.
only like 1% of fighters can make it to the UFC.
Well, yeah. I mean, dude, you fighters for the guys, because I didn't know that it was such a like for some fighters it's such a little low salary. You guys like risk your lives to go into these fights, and
Yeah.
I mean, you're
You
here.
start at 10-10, and then every time you win two fights in a row,
Mm-hmm.
the UFC, if your manager's good, he'll renegotiate your contract. You'll sign a new 4 fight contract that'll most of the time double what you're getting paid.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, dude, I think yeah. What do you if you want to share with it, what do you like get going like showing to a fight? Cuz I know there's a show and then there's a
30.
30, 30,000,
Mhm.
and then what if you win?
30 to win, bonus,
It's
locker
50.
room, sponsors,
Okay. Yeah, bonus is
meet and greets,
50K, right? Yeah.
after party is all paid. All that stuff pays.
Okay, sweet. Well, what do you say like let's say like a guy wins a fight and he gets 30 and he does all those other assets. What do you think he makes around?
Like me,
I'm saying like anybody. Like any UFC fighter.
my last fight against Vyacheslav,
Yeah.
I woke up Monday with 86,000.
Wow. Dude, congrats. That's a yeah. Once again, congrats on that fight because he's a good rounded fighter. Um, one of my questions, going into your first fight in the UFC against it's a contender series fight against Yusuf. What was it like fighting a good fighter like Sadiq Yusuf?
It was good. It was I mean, at that point in time, you can't really determine who anyone is. So
Yeah.
me to fight this kid, it was just some random guy like everyone else is. And We both were doing really good in the regional scene. He lost one, I didn't lose at all,
Yep.
and we just clashed. In um in our professional careers though, he fought for an organization that has a lot of really good guys. So he was definitely used to fighting high caliber. And
Mhm.
also his coaches did a lot of research on my previous my past because they've had UFC fighters, so they know how to study. I was with a boxing gym, so we didn't really study him at all, and I
Really.
just went in that fight boxing and lost.
Mhm.
I
Wow.
should have been with an MMA gym when I started. When I got called to the UFC, I should have switched over and did the straight MMA, but I was still sitting at that boxing gym.
Okay, so you weren't in a MMA gym when you got your first fight in the UFC?
hmm I
Wow.
mean, I'm still an MMA fighter.
No, yeah, of
I
course.
still only did MMA fights, but I was training at a gym that mainly prioritized
Was
boxing.
boxing. Okay.
Hmm?
Wow. So you think that you should have switched with the MMA gym when you had that fight?
Yeah. The minute they called and said they wanted me to fight for the UFC on the Contender Series, I think I should have went to an MMA gym to do my camp. That never really crossed my mind. I was just doing what I've been doing. It's working, so I just kept doing it.
Yeah, for sure. What was it like making that change going into from a boxing full boxing gym going into MMA gym?
Easy. I don't really box much.
Yeah.
I never did like a professional boxing fight, or I did one amateur fight,
Mhm.
but switching from boxing to MMA was just incorporating my wrestling.
Yeah, that's the same thing with like my gym. They're a whole boxing gym, and uh, I mean I'm not a boxer. I'm like yeah I have good stand up, but I kick. I grapple, so it's I'm probably gonna find an MMA gym, but I mean it has MMA in the name, but it's mostly boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I know we talked about it before, but if you wanna share your story with the podcast with your accident, if you want to, it's up to you. But
Oh, yeah. I shared it. I shared it on Twitter,
okay,
and I shared it on some other stuff. But it was so I want to say August of 2020,
okay,
COVID hit, and everybody was inside. And we were just starting to be able to go back outside during the summer, and I was doing bike rides to stay in shape. I got T-boned off a car or by a car
wow,
off my bicycle and cracked a bunch of bones and ripped a bunch of tendons and ligaments. So I I should have known that I was kind of hurt more than I felt because I was in bed, not like bedridden, but I was just home in the house, not leaving because I was in pain for like 2 weeks.
mm-hmm.
But then I got an MRI done, and I just had a whole messed up body. So I used my UFC insurance by taking fights. Take one fight, get insured. So took a fight, fought Mason Jones. Used that insurance to get the right side of my body repaired, and then that my knee, shoulder, hand. Then after that was done, fought Slava Claus when I healed and used his insurance to get my right side, shoulder, and hand.
Wow,
Now I'm just healing. I wrote my rotator cuff done 2 months ago, about almost 2 months ago, and it's still just waiting. It
yeah,
still hurts every day,
dude.
so it's
But
crazy. I did thought it would heal. This one wasn't my rotator cuff, so it healed so fast, and I was like, oh damn, the rotator cuff will be easy. Now
mm-hmm.
I'm 2 months in, and it hurts just like it did in the beginning.
That's great, dude. I'm so like once again I'm sorry that whole stuff happened to you, but I mean, it is like incredible to see that you're working at it and you took fights even when you were hurt. Is It's crazy that you did that, and I mean, yeah, you gotta get that money to pay for this surgeries and everything and getting healed up. I mean, yeah, I mean, kudos to you to pushing through and taking those fights. What like made you think that not give up on MMA when that all that stuff happened?
I never really think about giving up. There's nothing to give up. Um, kind of just like waking up and going to school. It's just become a part of my life. So I don't
Exactly.
really think of I don't really think of a way out. I just wait until I can do it again.
So you had no like bad thoughts of anything when all this happened?
No, it wasn't MMA fault. I did know that. I mean, the only thing I was thinking was that it was a hit and run, so I wasn't able to get money off of it.
Really?
I'd probably still be living off the money I would got from that guy. So it's that sucks, but
That's
I mean, I'm
terrible.
still here. I'm still doing everything.
Wow. I just that's terrible from a guy who literally hits a guy on a hit and run, just leaves. That's it's terrible, man. They don't know what happens to the person who got hit.
No, but they
There's
know that they'll have to pay for it, so I
yeah.
just leave.
Well, I mean, dude, you're definitely showing everybody in this world that you can, no matter what happens to you, don't give up. Like this is a big example of not giving up or just proving everybody wrong. You know, going from like just a tragic experience, and I don't know, like if I was in that situation, I don't know what I would do. I don't know what anybody else would do because it's like you feel all this pain and you're still not giving up and you're going to the gyms, you're taking these fights and you
Yeah,
used all that
that's
money.
I've noticed a lot from regular people now that I've been kind of trying to incorporate my social life. So I meet a lot of people now, and jeez, I noticed
You're good.
that people are very fragile. The
Yeah.
regular people, they're very, very fragile, very weak. Have never broken a bone. Have never been hit before. So I just noticed that a lot of people give up, and that's probably why they don't know what it's like to push yourself past that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I mean, dude, yeah, going with just a lot of people are fragile. I mean, yeah, in this day and age, like no offense, I just feel like a lot of people are not like pushing themselves with some stuff. I mean, dude, like yeah, going off of not breaking a bone, I haven't broken a bone either. Like yeah, I've done MMA. I haven't gotten hurt from anything. Like even sometimes I do think I haven't pushed past my limits because I mean I've gotten hurt in the past. I've been playing. I play. My dad plays a lot of pickleball, so I actually started picking up
Yep.
like pro games tournaments to make money. So you actually make a pretty decent amount of money doing some matches. So I mean I tried picking that up and going every day just to practice with my dad. And I've noticed sometimes like I screw up my toe or screw up my foot and I might sprain an ankle. It's but still like you push yourself. There's some times where if you push yourself like um at the amount you wanted to, you're gonna get hurt no matter what. But you want to push yourself back that past that, just like you did, man. It's crazy how you did that. I mean, I've never met anybody who's pushed past something like that and is still going with their dream. It's just it's a
Just living life, man.
yeah.
I don't really have.
It's like, dude, you're so chill with it. It's crazy. That's like, it's a really good thing to have though. To be, I've never like seen anyone who's just so chill with it. You know what I
I
mean?
I can't control it compared to the rest of my life. I think it's just a little step.
Yeah. Going off of just with fighting and everything, what would you say to like somebody new or like a young kid who wants to start fighting?
Mm, go watch my TikTok video. I talk about someone that's new wanting to start in fighting. You gotta find a gym that will push you,
Yeah.
that encourages you to be a better person every day, not just then as in a person, but also as an athlete. Um, People that treat you like family, not a number. People show up at the gym one, two, three, four, five, then that's just looked at like a paycheck. A lot of gyms do that. I get it. It's a business after all. It's something you're gonna use to pay your bills and
Yeah.
keep your family fed. So I get it. But like the gym I'm at now, it's just really good. I learn something new every day. Um, there are people there that want to be where I'm at. There are people beyond where I'm at, and I think that's also something really important. Finding a
Yeah.
gym where you fit in to the center, and you're not the best person, and you're not the worst person, but you're like in the
Mhm.
center.
Yeah, I feel like his based off of what you just said about finding a gym where there's people better than you and you're better than some people. Like I recently just heard that with my last podcast. I mean, couldn't agree more. If you're one of like the best fighters at a gym, and that you've been at for a little bit, you want to go to a new gym where there's people that are better than you, and you can learn from how good they are and how much better than you can be than them. You know, it's like crazy. It's like with any sport, wherever you train, wherever you, whatever sport you do, you gotta if you're like the best guy on that team or in that training facility, you gotta find another one. Get
Yeah,
better than the people that are better than you. You know, it's just like it's crazy, and it's I think it's a good thing with all sports going on. With I mean, I think a lot of people are getting more involved into different sports, and like I mean, dude, think about it. Like pickleball has been, excuse me, that's been a sport that like I never heard of till like maybe like a year ago. And
my friends play it.
yeah, you've ever tried it?
No,
It's fun.
maybe I don't know exactly what it is.
It's tennis and ping pong.
Then yeah, I played it.
You use a paddle. It's not like
Hmm?
yeah. Um yeah, it's crazy how like big of a sport that's gone. It's just like UFC too. I mean, back in the day it was very popular, but I feel like it's growing again to where it was a couple years back. Like the Chuck Liddell ages and such like
Hmm.
that. I think it's good
That's
that
about when I started watching UFC
yeah. Who inspired
or
you to start
training,
fighting?
pretty much.
Who inspired you to start fighting? Like what fighter?
None.
Really?
Yeah.
You had no there was no fighter that had a you had an inspiration for.
Only after I've already been fighting for a bit. Um, I wanted to be like Max Holloway
Okay.
when he was on his winning streak.
Mhm.
I always watched him.
Yeah. Yeah. For
He was the
me,
most exciting fighter to me as he was coming up. So I also liked his style. I thought his boxing was just like mine. So I wanted to be
yeah, phenomenal boxer.
just as good. Phenomenal. Yeah. He's a good fighter.
Mhm. I think I know Volk was very hard fighting him. What they fight 3 times? Yeah, pretty sure they fought 3 times.
Three or two? Three, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I mean, Volk is definitely a world class fighter. And same with Max Holloway, but I mean, dude, yeah, Max Holloway is a phenomenal boxer, and that's good to have an inspiration off of him. Even like, even if you start into fighting, even if somebody doesn't inspire you, you still find like an inspiration as you start a sport, and like somebody you want to be as good as or be better than. You know, say like for example, you want to be like since you had inspiration for Max Holloway, you want to be better than that, or you liked his style because it relates to you. You want to use that and make it better. You know.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. I do a thing. So the last thing I want to do is I'll let a UFC fighter pick a topic and we go from there. What is one topic you want to talk about? Yeah, topic.
Video games, movies. It's pretty much my only. That's all I do in life.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a huge video game person myself. I do streams with fighters too. I've done that. But what's your
Fun.
favorite video game?
I don't want to say Call of Duty,
Okay.
even though it's Call of Duty. It's the game I play the most. The
Yeah.
game I stream the most is Call of Duty. But definitely not my favorite game. It's just the one that everyone plays, so I know there's always content revolving around Call of
Yeah.
Duty.
You play
But
Warzone?
games I like to play are more story oriented.
Okay.
I like Jack and Daxter and Gears of War, Halo,
Yeah.
the games
Mm-hmm.
that do have multiplayer, but the story itself is what gets you to buy the game, play the
Okay.
game.
So you
For
like
me,
the old school kind of Xbox 360 kind of way games, right? Or
a little bit. That could be new school now,
yeah.
but they just got to be. They have to have a story. I like Atomic Heart. Right now, I'm playing Atomic Heart. I'm playing Spider Man.
Okay.
I'm playing Cyberpunk 2077. These are all games I just play when I'm not streaming, and
Yeah.
I mean, I should stream these games. They're fun. The story is captivating. It really gets me involved and kind of I love it. I love watching stuff. I get so into video games, especially GTA 6
Oh
coming out.
yeah. I'm
So I
excited for
get
that.
so into the game that in my head I'm that person. That's
Mm-hmm.
me. I'm doing this stuff.
Exactly. I used to back when I play video games all the time. I mean, I work two jobs and this too. So, I mean, doing playing video games, I used to be a streamer. I used to be a Twitch affiliate and I did streams. Like I played Warzone, played Fortnite. I mean, I didn't really like Fortnite per se just cuz I mean, it was a popular game. People loved it. So I was just kind of just playing it. Oh, I'm going to play it just to play it. And like if I'm good at it, people will watch and if they like me as a person, they'll watch. But like yeah, when I'm off streaming, I would play story mode games. Like I play Ark. I play because
Okay.
that's like
I heard Ark was pretty good. They have a second one. The second one coming out soon.
yeah, that one is set to come out
Alright.
late 2024, something like that.
I've never played Ark, but it looks fun.
It's an actual really fun game. I'm having some really big freaking problems with it. Just because they made like a new uh, like world and they based it off of like Lord of the Rings and stuff. And it's just really glitchy and you can never play it with a friend if you ever wanted to. And it kind of sucks. Just based off of, you want to. I mean, it's fun playing by yourself, but like with a friend, it's also fun in Arc just because, I mean, you can do so much more. I mean, in a
It's like a
fast game.
survival game. It's an open world survivalist game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay,
It's
like Daisy.
yeah. It's like a massive.
Yeah.
It's like Rust.
Rust. Okay,
It's a
that's awesome.
massive.
Well, with dinosaurs, they have
Mm-hmm.
dinosaurs. In.
And you tame them and everything. Build
Yeah,
houses.
that sounds like fun. I'll probably play that.
It is super fun. Yeah. It's like you choose. There's got to be like 10 worlds maybe,
Mm,
and
mm, mm, mm.
it's got like desert islands. Yeah, and that Lord of the Rings one they made. Yeah, and you literally just start up. You spawn in a region, and you just build.
You
Uh,
build from
yeah,
ground up.
yeah. It could be hard. I mean, like I literally started the other day doing that Lord of the Rings one, and about to go into one of the towns, but I T Rex literally. That's just sucks. But yeah, I mean, that's what I do outside of when I did stream. I played story mode games. Like GTA is really fun. Did you like
I
the
like
G?
the story.
Yeah, exactly. I like
I
the
like the
story.
story of GTA. Wait, I just re-downloaded GTA 5, so
Did
I'll play that
you?
after I beat all these other 10 games I'm playing.
Yeah, I like the story mode. Did you ever finish that or?
GTA 5, yeah, I
Yeah,
beat GTA 5. I
yeah.
beat all the Grand Theft Auto games
Okay.
because when they come out, I kind of just don't stop playing them until I beat it, and then I get to try the online mode, and then I hate it, and I stop playing it forever.
Okay. Another good story mode game is Days Gone. If you've ever played that, it's a
hmm
zombie one. Have you ever played it?
Not fully. I played maybe like an hour of it,
Would do you not
2
like
hours.
it?
I like it.
Yeah,
I just never it never sucked me in.
yeah. I mean, like, I kind of I played. It was what is it called? Dead Rising, back in like
Uh-huh. That's cool.
2010. Yeah, I thought that was a great story mode. I liked 2 a lot. I know the graphics were kind of they were terrible, but I honestly thought I thought it was a fun game because it's pretty cool. You can go into malls,
Hmm.
casinos, and I mean you can go into stores and pick up whatever's in there, and you fight zombies and survive people. I thought that was pretty cool. So, when did you start playing video games? Like, what was the first console, PC, Xbox 360?
All of them.
Really? Did you start on the
Hmm.
first Xbox and PS4?
That's how young you are. I had an Atari.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm 20, so I mean, I
You came out from Xbox. There's already an Xbox out.
yes. Uh,
Hmm.
I actually have one in my closet.
Imagine us growing up and this Xbox comes out.
Yeah.
It's like the must have of the century.
Yeah, no. This century it's PS5 and Xbox Series X everyone wants to buy. It's like, dude, I'm
I
not
already
like,
had I already had both and I sold them both.
oh, really? Do you not like them
Hmm?
or?
I just have PC.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I have a PC, Xbox, and a PlayStation, and I mean, dude, I use my Xbox as a Netflix. I use my PS4 just as playing and PC for recordings, so it's not like crazy. But I mean,
I do like the PS5 controller over the Xbox controller.
yeah, those are pretty cool.
I think that's I'm a PS5 guy. I use the controller still. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, so you're a
Yeah.
person who uses the controller,
Yeah.
keyboard. Yeah, me
I
too.
can't play. I mean, I can play mouse and keyboard. I'm 3, 4 times better with a controller.
No, I definitely agree. I if like when I play
Mouse
it
and
on.
keyboard is difficult.
I yeah, I can't pick that up, so I stick the
Like,
controller.
oh, this
My,
little thing that was hard to use.
wow. Yeah, my roommate actually is like a pro Rocket League player, and my old
Hmm.
roommate, and he uses controller because he can't like he's always been playing on console, and he wanted to switch. He didn't want to switch, you know. But yeah, when when I was young and the first Xbox came out, I actually played Battlefront, the first one on it, and Halo.
I play Battlefront.
Yeah, that was so fun. I even though I'm young, it still was pretty cool going into that. Yeah, I knew my brothers did have an Atari, but I never played on it.
That's an old console.
I played on
Play games like Galaga and whatnot.
okay. I played
Old
on
games.
Nintendo 64.
I like the 64. I had one.
Yeah.
I really have had every console. The
Even
thing I used the most was my Game Boy Advance. That I
really
had
okay.
for the longest time, and I never got rid of it. Played it all the time.
Yeah, like here's the thing. I was like, yeah, I'm young, but I had a Game Boy when I was young. Parents literally didn't want to like buy new things, you know. So I had a Game Boy. Every time I go to my grandma's when I was in like I don't know, even going up to like 13 years old, I played on Nintendo 64. I played like the old wrestling game, you know, Mario Kart, Mario Party.
Party.
Yeah,
Anything Mario related was the best.
I know. It was
My
great.
favorite my
Mario
favorite game was Conker's Bad Fur Day.
really. I like the
Nobody knows what that game is, but it was my favorite game.
wow. The 1080, the snowboard one, that was pretty fun. Probably don't know what that is. But
Fun stuff.
yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah, I mean, dude, I even though I'm young, I lived it all for video games. Like Xbox, I played all the there's like games I want to bring back, you know. You had those like good vibes back
Turok.
then. Yeah. Mhm. I want
Love Turok.
I want to bring
Surprised
back
they won't remake it.
like those old Lord of the
I'm
Rings games
actually.
or 1080. That would
Oh
be
yeah, I
cool.
see. I see.
What are you looking at?
Um, these videos I need to edit still.
Okay. Nice. What's your TikTok? You can drop it here and I'll drop a pin down on it.
Mike Davis, UFC.
Okay.
I know all my stuff's Mike Davis MMA, but TikTok, and Twitch. Someone took those from me, so it's all Mike Davis UFC.
Okay. All right, sweet. I'll put those down in the description. All right. Yeah. Anything else from you?
No,
All right, sweet, dude. Appreciate you
nothing.
coming on.
Of
Everybody,
course.
this was season 1, episode 13 with Mike Davis. Thank you guys for watching.